Guys, Trevy the Great here again with another battle report. This is an interesting game that I played recently. It is a mirror matchup, not just Signar versus Signar. It is eCaine versus eCaine. I recently went down and went to check out a gaming store not too far away from me. I'm trying to expand my Warmachine horizons, play, get a couple more games in every week. So I decided to go check out this nearby store, and I got a couple games in there. This was the most interesting one that I played. My opponent told me he was playing Signar, and I was like, ah, great, maybe I'll learn a couple things. And then realized we both pulled out eCaine, and realized the game probably wasn't going to be that interesting. Thankfully, we were wrong, and it was a pretty interesting game. So stay tuned. This scenario we are playing is, I believe, called Diversion. There is a big 8-inch circle in each of our sides of the board, and a flag opposite us. We have to control the flag and contest the zone on the opponent's side of the board with anything, and that will score us 1 point, and it's 2 or 3 points to win. I can't remember. I think it's 2 actually, but yeah. So we both took eCaine. As I said before, our lists were pretty different. They had some of the same sort of ideas behind them, but the different units. I took a max unit of precursors with your unit attachment, Old Rowdy, Arlen Strangeways, Reinhold, and the Squire, of course, because you can't not take them. Epic Iris for some upkeep shooty, a unit of Rangers, and a minimum unit of Gregor, Boomhowler, and Co. So my list was pretty much based around jamming the enemy really fast. I had the 4+ tough, no knockdown with heightened reflexes on the Gregor, Boomhowler, and Co. And then I had tough from Rupert on the spell warded awesome precursor knights, and they could go in and get their 1-turn weapon master and just do a bunch of damage to something heavy. Unfortunately, with this list, this is my tournament list because there tends to be a lot of, in my meta anyway, there tends to be a lot of war beasts and big scary things that, for one, the Gregor, the Boomhowlers can sort of jam up, or now two, the precursors can just kill them with their POW 12 weapon master or mace things. And also O'Rowdy is good at killing stuff. But unfortunately, my opponent took a list with not a lot of heavy things. He had a very shooting centric list with a lot of infantry in it. So he was taking, off the top of my head, see if I can remember. He had a Squire, he had Captain Maxwell Finn and Rupert Carvolo. He had a max unit of Trencher Commandos with 3 weapon attachments. So that is the 3 Scattergunner weapon attachments, the little shotgun guys. He had a unit of Arcane Tempest Gun Mages with their UA and a Gun Mage Captain Adept. It turns out that Gun Mage Captain Adepts also get Gunfighter under eCaine's Elite Cadre, which I didn't know and I thought was really cool because it made them a little bit better. Additionally, he had a Hunter just to fill out his Warjack points and the Black 13th, because you can't not take the Black 13th. So, I mean, they're pretty good, let's be honest. So, those are our lists. As you can see, a lot of very different ideas coming into the game. I think that my opponent has a little bit of a leg up on me just because I don't have a lot of early game shooting, but once my guys get into melee, I think I can do a lot of damage. So, my Caine is also a little bit more effective because I have Reinhold and Rangers, so he's at 11 with 3 initial attacks rather than 2, so he can do a little bit more shooting, but I think my opponent is really hoping that his Treasure Commandos and his Gun Mages are going to do the heavy lifting for him. So, we will see how it goes. Stay tuned for this exciting game. Alright, here's the end of my turn 1. I won the roll to go first. I decided to take the first turn. In hindsight, I don't think I would have taken that. The more I play Steamroller, the more I realize that I don't really like going first. I know a lot of people consider that it's better than going second, but a lot of times playing Signar, I have a lot of ranged offense, and that really likes to go second. So I think from now on, just the bonuses, the extra deployment zone, and the choosing your side, and seeing where your deployment deploys is probably greater benefit to me anyway than going first. I don't know if my opinion will change later, but I think going second is better than going first in my opinion. So I chose to go first. I think I wouldn't have chosen that if I replayed this game, but that's how it worked. Basically everything ran. True Shot went down on Caine, so he could ignore the stealth on Trencher Commandos. Heightened Reflexes went down on the Gregor, Boomhowler, and Co. And Heroic Call went down onto the Precursor Knights. So pretty standard there, and everything's up in the middle of the board. Alrighty, here's the end of round 1. This is the end of my opponent's turn. Not a lot happened. Again, he desperate paced the Trencher Commandos with Maxwell Fenn, gave them heightened reflexes from Caine, and just ran them up into that wall there in the center of the board. Basically, he's pretty much got the drop on me at this point. He's got all the good locations. There's that little choke point behind the wall in the center, and that obstruction there on the right hand side, and that's going to be really tough for me to get through, especially when he's lining with all those stealthed and heightened reflex and tough treasure commandos. So I gotta try to blow through that. And the Gregor, Boomhowler, and Co are gonna go onto the left-hand side and contest his flag, or they contest the flag that he's trying to capture for a long time, and hopefully they can just hold out for a little while, so my precursors and my rangers can try to either take out the treasure commandos or just go around them and attack my opponent's flag. Alright, this is my turn too. As you can see, I'm just continuing to run up. I had Rowdy run right up to the wall there, just in front of the Trencher Commandos, basically telling him he needed to do something about Rowdy. I couldn't Tremor, unfortunately, because if I could have, I would have charged and Tremored and tried to knock guys down, but unfortunately, he had heightened reflexes up, so that wouldn't have done anything at all. So Rowdy just ran, basically being, saying, how do you deal with me? The Treasure Commandos really can't deal with heavy armor. The Gun Mages, I guess, could try to push him away, but I don't think that because he is behind the wall, he's hard enough to hit that I'm not too worried about that. And additionally, they can't really do much damage. ECaine and his Hunter are really the only things that can crack armor. The Hunter isn't gonna do much damage in 1 or 2 shots, but ECaine will be able to do a lot of damage. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, I can just. I'm probably going to force a feed out of him with Rowdy, but it's better than ECaine, I guess, and than his ECaine shooting at my ECaine. So, and hopefully I'll be able to deal some damage and put some pressure on my opponent in the meantime. Other than that, my ECaine got reloaded from Reinhold, moved up and killed a bunch of Trencher Commandos. Now, I made a big mistake here, and looking at it, I really should have seen this right off the bat, but that is why I'm practicing with eCaine. But there is a line of Trencher Commandos right behind that wall, and there's a mentality that I have that, if something's behind a wall, you don't shoot at it because you'll probably miss. Now, eCaine with the Ranger bonus is rep 11, so the Defense 17 Trencher Commandos would be getting hit on 6s, which is average rolls. And my opponent didn't have anything to feed on besides pretty much ECaine and his Hunter, but I don't want to feed to kill a Hunter. I think I can kill it with my initial attacks anyway. So I think what I should have done is feeded to kill the Trencher Commandos, because ECaine's feet, when you kill a model with under ECaine's feet, it explodes into a 3-inch AoE that does pow 10 damage around it, and I think I would have been able to just wipe those 5 Trencher Commandos out that are hiding behind the wall with 2 or 3 shots, depending on how often they made tough rolls, and then being able to put shots into that choke point between the wall and the obstruction there. So I think I probably could have done a lot of damage, hopefully just wiped out most of the Trencher Commandos on my feet turn if I had thought about it. But I didn't do that, and that meant that the Trencher Commandos were still there and still a problem that I had to deal with. So they were going to continue to lob grenades and shoot carbine shots into my army. Other than that, the Gregor, Boomhowler, and Co. just ran up. I couldn't engage any of the Gun Mages, so I just ran up to his flag, and the 2 of them went and engaged some Trencher Commandos, so they weren't going to be able to shoot into my infantry. Other than that, put down Heroic Call again onto the Precursor Knights. They ran around the flag, and the Rangers moved up and took a couple pot shots at the Trencher Commandos. They missed, and they gave ECaine his aiming bonus, so he went in and killed 5 or 6 of the Trencher Commandos. And then Gatecrasher back behind the forest there on the bottom right-hand side. Alrighty, so this is the bottom of round 3. I think I missed a photo on my opponent's turn, unfortunately, but this is the photo on my subsequent turn. So what happened here is basically my opponent decided to move up with his Trencher Commandos and basically box old Rowdy in as much as he could, so that old Rowdy wasn't going off and just basically threatening ECaine and hopefully maybe killing his Hunter, maybe, I don't know. But he moved up and got a couple attacks off, killed a couple Precursor Knights, forced some tough checks on my Boom Howlers. The Gun Mages fired at the Boom Howlers. They weren't rolling particularly well, and I was making tough checks like a boss. So none of the Boom Howlers, well, 3 of the Boom Howlers died to the concentrated fire from the Arcane Tempest Gun Mages. The 2 of them fighting the Trencher Commandos survived, which was good, and Boom Howler himself survived. So he is hanging out on my opponent's flag. Other than that, I think the Black 13th put a Mage Storm down next to my opponent's flag, and the flag I was trying to control. And other than that, just pretty much fearless and tough on the Trencher Commandos from Rupert Carbolo. So nothing really new there. In my turn, I decided to continue my my Reign of Terror with Alrighty. The Precursor Knights went up. I think they killed a couple of the trencher commandos, and then O'Rowdy basically just walked over the wall and killed one or two more with his hammer. And his fist, hammer and fist. Unfortunately, I put him way out of range of Arlen Strangeways, so Arlen Strangeways wasn't doing anything. So Arlen just did try to move up and spray the trencher commando that's sitting right in front of my zone, but that unfortunately did not do anything. Arlen is not that good at shooting, unfortunately. So other than that, my Gregor Boomhowler himself, he charged in against the Gunmage Captain Adept. Didn't do any damage, needed an 8 to hit, so it wasn't really going to do anything. The Boomhowlers just continued to wail on some of the trencher commandos. But between Defense 13 and Tough, I wasn't really able to get any damage through. The Rangers moved up, just trying to give Kane some shots on I think some trencher commandos. I thought I might have been able to get the Black 13th, but I don't think I was in range, so that was unfortunate. But Kane did move up. He killed a couple more trencher commandos with his shots and Reinhold's shot, and then Gatecrasher back behind the forest again. Both of our Canes are playing pretty cagey because obviously neither of us can really get close to the opponent because that spells certain doom. So we basically had this giant box in the middle where neither of us could go because the other one would just kill them. So pretty cagey game with our Warcasters. They weren't doing too much. But that's pretty much all that happened. Unfortunately, like I said before, I didn't kill the majority of the trencher commandos last turn, so I just continued to grind through them. I think I've almost destroyed the unit. I think there's 3 left, but it's a little bit annoying. So, yeah. Okay, again, unfortunately, I missed the photo on my opponent's turn, or missed a photo. Yeah, I missed the photo on my opponent's turn, so this is going to be the bottom of the round. Basically, what happened is my opponent decided he needed to deal with O'Rowdy, so I put a Hunter shot into him. He also feeded with Kane to just blow him out of the water, and exactly boxed him with 1 focus left. So he tried to take a shot at the Precursor Officer, but unfortunately failed, because the officer was hiding behind a wall and was defense not too terrible. So that was too bad. Additionally, my opponent was able to bring the Boomhowlers down to 1 model. He killed Gregor with the Gunmage Captain Adept, and the other the Trencher Commandos dealt with 1 more Boomhowler. So and also the Ryan moved up and put a Mage Storm down. I think she shot a Mage Storm at, I think it was a Ranger who was hiding behind the obstruction there and scattered off and didn't do any damage, which was fortunate. Because in my turn, I saw an opportunity to score. I had the Precursor Officer behind the wall in the center. He was in easy running distance of the objective. Also, Rupert Carvola was within running distance of my flag. So, and Ryan, I don't believe was in the flag zone, but I decided to try to kill her anyway. So my Ranger went up, got within 5 inches of the Black 13, took a shot, I think missed. And then Kane got true shot from, Kane got the additional shot from Reinhold, moved up through the forest and took out Lynch and Watts with his guns. I don't remember if I shot at Ryan or not, but she ended up failing her command check anyway and fleeing, so it didn't really matter because she couldn't contest the flag. So that was really good. I scored a point at that point right there. Kane, I think, also took a shot at Maxwell Finn, but ended up missing. Additionally, Arlen Strangeways got a really good spray off. There were 3 Trencher Commandos in a row, pretty much. 2 fighting the Boomhowlers and 1 just in front of the wall there. And Arlen Strangeways got the spray off and killed all 3 of them, which was great. Made up his first showing last turn, but I needed 8s to hit, or actually I needed 6s to hit because a lot of them were in the rear arcs. So that was really lucky of me. Good job, Arlen Strangeways. You're a shooting monster, and we'll go into all my shooting lists. Not really, because kind of terrible, but whatever. Yeah, that was pretty much all that I could do. My army is getting very, very small. So is my opponent's, although he still has a unit of gun mages, which is a big deal. So I basically was going to put scenario pressure on my opponent and just see how that went. All right, this is the bottom of round 4 or 5. I don't remember. But in my opponent's turn, again, he did things. He used Ryan really well. He ended up moving up with his Rupert Carvolo and putting Fearless and Tough on Ryan so that she automatically rallied. Ryan then walked up to the flag, and so he was contesting it with Ryan, and then she Mage Stormed the Ranger. That meant that the Ranger and Rupert Carvolo would both take a POW 12. They both died, and they both passed tough checks, which was awesome. So they didn't really die. They only died a little bit. Other than that, my opponent just continued to move up with his gun mages. He didn't really have much else to do, but he ended up, I think, just killing the rest of the precursors and a couple rangers. So that basically killed the remainder of my infantry. And I was basically down to Kane and his buddies and Rupert and Arlen. So just a couple solos left. But what ended up happening was in my turn, he also, I think he ran his last trencher commando over into the zone and scored a point because he was holding the objective with his gun mage captain. So yay. So what happened was that in my turn, basically Kane moved up, just decided to kill a couple things. I didn't really have any way to stop him from getting into the zone. I moved up Arlen Strangeways just to engage a couple of the gun mages and try to make it a little bit harder for him to run into the zone and contest it. Unfortunately, I did not have enough models to stop him from doing it, so he was going to win in his turn anyway. Kane moved up and killed the one trencher that was contesting the zone. I think he also killed Maxwell Finn and a couple more trenchers that were hiding, or not trenchers, gun mages that were hiding behind the wall, and then basically just hung out behind the obstruction there. Unfortunately, I didn't think about it at the time, but Ryan was right there, and she could mage storm all of my support staff, which is kind of a big deal. But the squire was only sitting on one focus, and I don't think Reinhold was really going to do that much at this point anyway. So yeah, that was pretty much all I could do. Rupert, Carvolo, and the ranger were knocked down in a mage storm, which sucks because it means they basically can't attack Ryan, because if they do, they'll die. So the ranger stood up and tried to get away, but she was engaged by Ryan and ended up being shot to death and dying. Rupert Carvola just moved out of the mage storm and was safe, I guess. So yeah, that was my turn. So this is the last turn of the game. Obviously, my opponent won. He scored a second point here, and we just ended up winning. It's kind of funny though. He wasn't exactly sure how exactly he was going to win. He was telling me he didn't really see a way of being able to do it because his gun mage captain I don't think could make it into the zone, and so that meant he didn't have anything to test it with. But I told him he could test it. But I kill his gun mage captain? I think I don't remember what happened, but I think his gun mage captain tried to get into the zone and got free strike by Arlen and died. So he didn't really have anything to contest the zone with, although he did have a hunter, and he told me he needed the hunter to control the flag, and he didn't want, if he moved his gun mages out of Arlen's melee range there, they had a pretty good chance of just dying. So I told him he still had Kane, and if he wasn't shooting anybody, he could just run Kane, or he could just move him and then gate crash right into the flag, and he hadn't thought of that, I guess. So yeah, so he ended up doing that, just running Kane into the flag, running the hunter into the zone, and ended up scoring the second point, so winning the game. But very bloody game, really good game to my opponent. I had a really fun time playing this game. Unfortunately, my opponent's dice throughout the game weren't that great, and he had a couple, especially shooting the boom howlers, that he had a couple rolls that weren't that great, which is too bad. But I think that in terms of army list and me not being able, not thinking about destroying his trencher commandos with my feet earlier on in the game, I think that he had the leg up on me and probably was in a better position. So. Again, good game to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle report. Stay tuned for some more battle reports. I got some more coming. I do have a really exciting announcement, though. So that announcement is that I've started a new blog. This is completely separate to my Trevy's Painting Table blog. That blog is for pretty much specifically for my my commission painting now, and a little bit of 40K in there maybe as well. But this new blog is called Way of the Swan. You can find it at wayoftheswan.com. It is an entirely Cygnar blog. Then I love Cygnar a lot, so I am going to make a blog about Cygnar. I haven't found a lot of blogs specifically about Cygnar on the internet, a la like Trollblood Scrum, some of those blogs that just cater specifically to one faction. So I decided to start a blog that just writes articles about Cygnar. So if you're looking for a blog and to read about Cygnar on some cool articles, tactic articles, and reviews and stuff, then check out wayoftheswan.com. That way you don't have to churn through all of those blogs that don't cater to a specific army and try to find articles that you enjoy. So yeah, check those out. I don't know what I'm gonna do with battle reports for that. I think that I might start a separate YouTube channel specifically for Way of the Swan where I'll post my Warmachine battle reports, but I have not decided that yet. But for those who are interested, check out wayoftheswan.com. There's also a Facebook page, and you can follow me on Twitter. That'll have a lot of information about the blog as well at Trevy the Great. So please do that. Check out my blog. It's going to be super cool. The first couple articles are up there on the staple units of Cygnar. That basically being the units that are the best unsupported units, so that you can play in it with any caster in any army list, and they'll still act pretty fine. So check that out at wayoftheswan.com. Again, hope you enjoyed this battle report. Stay tuned for some more.